Hey there, Solemn Salmon here, back from a bit of a hiatus and jumping back into Stellaris with vigorous fervour. I've been enjoying the 2.2 Lagoon updates and have spent some time trying to finish off Steam achievements as I go. Recently, this led me to the We Are Legion Chief, to play as a biological hive mind and gather a host of 1,000 pops within my empire. Now this sort of thing would have been madness before the planetary rework and the adoption of the district system. It also gave me the chance to play as a hive mind, something I hadn't really done before 2.2, as I've always felt they were a little underwhelming, basically standard empires but without happiness or factions. As you can see, I managed to grab the achievement a couple of weeks ago, but that gave me plenty of time to see how great 2.2 has made hive minds, and that's what this video is going to cover. I'm going to make my way through some thoughts about playing as a biological hive mind, hopefully offering some helpful tips along the way for anyone else who hasn't given hive minds a chance yet. Feel free to throw your own suggestions in the comments. This video is by no means gospel, and I'm sure plenty of people in the Stellaris community will have some awesome suggestions. First thing to think about when playing a biological hive mind is pop growth. Now the pop is king in 2.2, and hives are set up perfectly to exemplify this point. With pop jobs on planets, and then megastructures in the late game, providing the bulk of your resources, you need to be churning out as many pops as you can as quickly as you can. Especially when you consider that hive minds can't benefit from trade, can't form commercial packs, can't be a megacorp, and can't utilise immigration, as pretty much everyone hates you for being not just xenoscum, but single-minded xenoscum. The horror. As a hive, you should be growing pops pretty quickly from the get-go with that plus 25% growth speed from your Empire Authority, which can be pumped by plus 33% if you immediately change your food policy to nutritional plentitude, although this does come at the cost of plus 50% food upkeep. So I'd build an extra food district sharpish if you do, or temporarily switch your production policy to extraction focus to boost menial drone output. There are no civics to boost growth speed, but I do like taking aesthetic, which reduces amenity usage, great for freeing up building slots, especially once you start getting tech options to reduce it further, allowing you then to convert maintenance depots to hive warrens for extra housing, or anything else really. Divided attention is great as well, keeping down any debuffs from size for a little bit longer, until you're big enough not to care about admin cap anymore. You should definitely consider one mind though, as it allows you to smash through the expansion tradition, especially coupled with an early synapse node, which is really important. Expansion's adoption bonus increases colony development speed, and its right-hand branch adds an immediate extra drone when you establish a brand new colony, as well as providing plus 10% to pop growth at the second stage. The left-hand branch features handy reductions in starbase influence cost and upkeep, as well as plus 20 admin cost, with the finishing bonus increasing planetary districts and unlocking an Ascension perk. Look, there's not a single tradition in this tree that isn't useful, especially in the early game, and to be honest, it should be your first tree for pretty much any playthrough, not just for hive minds. Make sure to unlock campaigns as soon as the tech option becomes possible. For a merely 500 food, you can boost pop growth for a further 10% for a pretty long period of time. As soon as you can afford it, build yourself a colony ship. If growing as many pops as possible is important, why not do it everywhere the galaxy will let you? Hold off actually colonising though until you hit that free +1 colonist expansion tradition, or try and time it so they finish at the same time if you're feeling appropriately efficient. If you set the game up with default 2 guaranteed habitable worlds, rinse and repeat there as well to maximise growth. This will cost you a huge amount of food, so chances are you're going to be building a lot of food districts early on, but the aim here is to start the snowball rolling, to make the mid and late games easier. Once your planets are all growing and you've achieved a stable economy, you can construct a spawning pool on each of your planets to further increase growth rate by plus 25%, as well as moving pops between your planets to ensure that it's manned. All that pop growth firmly gets the snowball rolling. It can be difficult in the very early game to get everything in place, so you might feel it's a struggle, but keep at it. The only problems you'll face from here are making sure your economy keeps on building, which is largely a case of making sure you're not building too many buildings, leaving vital menial jobs unmanned, as well as building the right buildings to meet your needs. The fact that planets can now be specialised is key to any empire, especially hive minds, when you're using your pops and pop jobs to fuel your mass and overcome any admin cap debuffs. If you're lucky, you'll start with plenty of space to expand into, with resource-rich systems ready to be exploited. Given that you're largely going to be aiming to simply outproduce your admin debuffs, growing larger and grabbing more systems isn't such a huge issue. And if you have enough minerals and energy coming from those systems, you can devote planets to producing other resources. For example, a planet with a large number of potential mining districts can be used as a forge world rather than a simple mining world. The plus 5% boost to alloys, coupled with a large number of foundry runes, means you can churn out the alloys needed to fuel that expansion as well as your defense, with the minerals needed generated on the planet itself. Likewise, a mining-rich world could be used as a refinery world to generate strategic resources. This is also a great way to specialise any smaller planets you come across along the way. Build hive districts to house large numbers of drones, and then focus on either refineries or research buildings to provide jobs and generate some nice resources. Don't forget that hive minds don't have happiness, so you don't need to worry about settling low habitability planets for fear of revolts. Hive minds will happily live on planets that don't match their preferred climate, acquired through colonisation or conquest. Although for every 1% below 100% habitability you are, pop upkeep and amenity usage is also increased by 1%, so very low habitability can be costly. Still, it's an option if you haven't unlocked terraforming yet, if you find a great world. If you happen to take a world through conquest, or you're playing as a devouring swarm, you still have the option to simply migrate all your pops off the planet and abandon it though. I've taken planets in wars during my recent playthroughs and simply taken all my pops off and sold the remaining Xenos into slavery, making a quick buck. You can then return later, once you've got terraforming, and simply recolonize the planet, which will still have any districts built there ready for your use. In the later game, you're going to want to focus on Ascension Perks for megastructures or hive worlds to complement this. In the case of hive worlds, removing the restriction on the number of districts of each type you can build allows you to purely specialise each planet. An agri-world is actually that, a world purely filled with agricultural districts, maximising and enhancing the bonus, especially with the hive world's 10% to pop resource output. In the case of ring worlds or habitats, you won't be able to build mining districts, so a planet or two will be needed, but with a similar freedom from district cap, they'll make great generator or agri-worlds, at the cost of a chunk of alloys. Although you can't make your own Ecumonopolize a hive mind, if you're lucky enough to get the first League precursor chain and secure Fen Habanis, essentially focus everything you've got on it because it's insanely OP early on. Speaking of Ascension Perks, you'll need to fill out a few tradition trees first. Whilst your first pick should always be expansion, I like to take Synchronicity second as it immediately lowers food pop consumption and has traditions helping your leaders and enhancing amenity efficiency. Bulwark of Harmony is also great, as other empires will gain a relations debuff as you're a hive and will especially hate you if you're a devouring swarm. You can't help it that they're incredibly tasty, but they sure as hell won't take it as a compliment. Next should probably be Prosperity, which really helps with rapidly growing your empire. Supremacy is always good if you think you're going to be in a lot of wars. I'm looking at you, swarms. Otherwise, Discovery for the faster tech. In terms of Ascension Perks, you can't take hive worlds or megastructures immediately, you'll need to build up to them. One Vision's boost to Unity is great for hives, which produce a lot of Unity, and will help smash through trees after expansion. Technological Ascendancy is never a bad pick, but not necessarily the best depending on your empire and situation. Imperial Prerogative adds plus 30 to admin cap, which is nice, as you'll be growing quickly and will want to stave off those debuffs. Those are some thoughts on Hive Minds in 2.2. Let me know in the comments if you've had any great playthroughs as a Hive, or if you've got some other tips and tricks for playing them. Also, let me know if there are any other Empire types you'd like some thoughts on. I'll see what I can do. The aim is to get videos out more regularly from now on, so I'd be happy to take a look. Anyhow, like and subscribe for more from me, Solemn Salmon. I'll see you next time.